Have you ever had your cat do something that felt almost personal? They they bite you during petting, knock something off the table, scratch you during a tense moment, run away in a burst of overstimulation, and then later, they come back quietly. They rub against your leg, slow blink at you, sit nearby, lick your hand, follow you from room to room. And something inside you wonders, wait, are they apologizing? It's one of the most emotionally fascinating questions in cat behavior. Because humans understand apology through guilt, regret, repair, words. But cats live in a completely different emotional world. A world built on instinct, body language, scent, nervous system safety, predictability. So do your cats actually say sorry? Or are we projecting human emotions onto feline psychology? The answer is more beautiful than most cat lovers realize. Because while cats may not experience apology exactly like humans, they absolutely perform social repair behaviors. And once you understand cat body language meaning, those strange little moments after conflict suddenly make sense. That awkward head rub, the unexpected lick, the slow blink, the quiet return, the toy dropped near your feet. None of it may be random, because cat behavior problems often aren't problems at all. They're misunderstood communication. So in this felunee cat documentary, we're uncovering the truth about feline apology behavior and what your cats may actually be trying to tell you after tension, fear, overstimulation, or accidental conflict. Because once you truly start understanding cats, you may never hear sorry the same way again. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, has your cat ever hurt you and then done something strangely sweet right afterward? 1. Cats do not feel human guilt, but that doesn't mean they feel nothing. Let's begin with the biggest misunderstanding in feline psychology. Cats do not process guilt the way humans do. They are not sitting in another room thinking, I shouldn't have done that. That kind of reflective moral thinking is human. But cat behavior is driven by emotional state, survival instinct, learned association, and social pattern recognition. That distinction matters. Because many owners mistake guilty behavior for apology, the lowered posture, avoiding eye contact, cautious movement. But in most cases, that's not guilt. That's your cat reacting to your emotional energy, tone of voice, body posture, facial tension. Cats are masters at reading emotional atmosphere. So when tension changes, they notice. But this does not mean cats are emotionally cold. Quite the opposite. Cats absolutely recognize social disruption, and many attempt repair in cat-specific ways. That's where feline apology becomes fascinating, because the question isn't, do cats feel guilt? The real question is, how do cats repair trust? That changes everything. 2. Licking after biting, the most misunderstood sorry. This is one of the strangest cat moments. Your cat bites you, then suddenly licks you, and humans instantly think, oh, they feel bad, maybe, but not exactly. This behavior is more accurately explained through social regulation. In feline psychology, licking serves multiple roles: grooming, scent blending, calming, bonding, social reassurance. If a bite happened during overstimulation, your cat's nervous system may shift quickly after the reaction. The moment of defense passes, arousal drops, social familiarity returns, and the lick becomes repair, reconnection, regulation, not human guilt, but still meaningful. This is one of the clearest examples of cat apology signs owners misunderstand. Because your cat may not be saying, I regret hurting you. They may be saying, we're okay now. That's emotionally very different, and honestly, beautiful in its own feline way. 3. Slow blinking after conflict. Few cat trust signals are more emotionally powerful than this. A slow blink after tension can feel deeply intentional. Because in cat body language, meaning eye closure equals vulnerability, and vulnerability requires safety. A cat that slowly blinks after conflict may be performing social reassurance, a calming signal, a peace gesture, an emotional reset. That doesn't mean every blink is an apology, but context matters. If conflict happened, and your cat later returns softly, blinks slowly, and remains nearby, that's meaningful. Because cats don't perform vulnerable social gestures around beings they perceive as dangerous. This is one of the clearest signs your cats may be attempting relational repair. Not through human apology, through feline trust language. 4. Head bunting is emotional reconnection. That head bump after tension, it matters. Cats use scent-based communication heavily. Cheeks contain social scent glands. When cats bunt, humans, furniture, object, other animals, they exchange familiarity markers. This is emotional mapping, territory blending, social reassurance. So if tension happened, and your cat later headbutts you, that may absolutely function as relational repair, because familiar scent restores emotional normalcy. Your cats may literally be restabilizing the relationship through scent communication. That's deeply feline psychology, and one of the most beautiful parts of understanding cats. 5.
Following you after conflict.
This one confuses many cat lovers. A cat swats you, runs off, then later follows you everywhere: kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, hallway. Why? Because conflict does not always destroy attachment. Sometimes conflict creates temporary emotional disruption. And emotionally bonded cats often monitor important social beings afterward. This is not stalking, it's social checking, relationship recalibration, environmental monitoring. If your cat follows you after tension, they may be asking, "Are we okay? What's your emotional state now? Is the environment safe again?" That's not guilt, but it absolutely reflects emotional awareness. 6. Bringing toys after tension. This feels almost heartbreakingly sweet. Conflict happens. Then later, a toy appears near your bed, near your chair, at your feet. Is this apology? Not literally, but in cat communication, potentially meaningful. Play is social, engagement-based, emotionally connective. A toy invitation after disruption may signal social repair, trust, reactivation, bond, reconnection, especially in playful, socially interactive cats. Because understanding cats means recognizing behavior in emotional context. A toy is not always just a toy. Sometimes it's relationship language. 7. Grooming themselves after conflict. This one gets missed constantly. Conflict, stress, startle, then suddenly your cat sits down and grooms intensely. Humans think random. Not random. This can be displacement behavior, a nervous system regulation strategy, self-soothing, stress processing, emotional decompression. This doesn't mean apology directly, but it does mean emotional arousal happened. And if your cat later reconnects after grooming, that sequence can absolutely represent feline emotional reset. Understanding cat behavior problems often begins here, recognizing regulation behaviors humans overlook. 8. Quiet proximity instead of dramatic affection. Some cats don't lick, or blink, or bring toys. They simply return and sit nearby. Quietly, same room, same couch, same bed edge. That subtle proximity can be profoundly meaningful, because cats do not maintain proximity casually, especially after emotional tension. If your cat chooses quiet nearness after conflict, that may be one of the clearest feline apology behaviors. Not verbal, not dramatic, but deeply sincere in cat language, because proximity means, I still trust this space. I still trust you. That matters.
9.
What feline sorry actually means. So how do cats apologize? Not with guilt, not with moral regret, not with human-style remorse. They apologize through relationship repair, scent, reconnection, social reassurance, proximity, calming gestures.
Trust restoration. That's the truth.
And honestly, it may be more emotionally honest than human apology, because cats don't fake emotional performance. Their nervous systems simply move toward restored safety. And when your cats choose to reconnect after tension, that choice means something, a lot. So now the question feels different, doesn't it? Not, does my cat know they were bad? But how does my cat repair trust? That shift changes everything. Because once you understand feline psychology, those strange post-conflict behaviors stop looking random. The lick after the bite, the quiet slow blink, the gentle head bump, the soft following, the toy at your feet, the quiet return to your side. None of that may be human apology, but all of it may be emotional communication. And perhaps that's even more meaningful, because your cats are not trying to be tiny humans. They are communicating through the emotional language evolution gave them: scent, space, safety, trust, social repair. That's the hidden emotional world of cat behavior. And once you start seeing it, your relationship changes forever, because suddenly cat behavior problems become cat communication. Misunderstood signals become emotional conversations. Your cats stop feeling mysterious and start feeling deeply understandable. So tell me in the comments, what does your cat do after conflict that makes you think they're saying sorry? And if you love understanding cats, cat psychology, cat body language meaning, cat behavior problems, and the hidden emotional world of your cats, subscribe to Felunee Cat. Because once you truly understand your cats, everything changes.